Buongiorno, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Stupid things that people say. It's my choice. And the reason why this is something stupid is because what they're talking about when they say this in lieu of why I'm making this video, and I apologize, I'm going to smoke. I'll try to keep it to a minimum. The reason it's stupid is because their choice literally infringes upon other people, but yet they talk about it like it doesn't affect anybody but them, and that's bullshit. Say I had a friend that worked here with me that said that all the time, and he obviously didn't know the rules of certain things, or the way that well, not so much that, but the consequences that would ensue because he subscribed to that type of self-indulging ideology that he was totally unaware, or at least just too arrogant to actually think that it affected other people. Now, he would call in a lot if he was mildly sick. He obviously was not aware that sick time, or he was not aware of the penalties that come about with sick time or being sick. That even if you have a doctor's excuse, it will still count against you. It just doesn't count against you as much if you have a doctor's excuse. Yeah, if you don't have a doctor's excuse, you get more demerit. You get a larger demerit of sorts. And so he was like, "Oh, it's my choice. It's my choice." Well, and then another thing too is he says that it's his choice not to have vehicle insurance. Now, here in my state, vehicular insurance is mandatory, as it should be. Because you're putting other people at risk if you don't have insurance. If you get in an accident and it's your fault, you're putting them at financial risk, and you're putting yourself at financial risk too, even if that's what you want to go through. But you're affecting the other person. And one of the mentalities that he had was that he never could understand, at least he should not have been surprised, that when he would do things at work that he wasn't supposed to be doing, or he was supposed to be doing, and management would never say anything, he was always surprised when they finally did say something. But I think that management was actually just kind of milking that situation to get rid of him. I mean, I like the guy, but he just had a lot of growing up to do, and he had a lot of knowledge to garner. He had a lot of knowledge to garner, and a value system that needed developing. Not just for himself, but him as part of the social unit, so part of this, societal unit. Well, there was one time he didn't have his lab coat on, and that's a requirement. And he would not wear his lab coat, and they would never, they would never say anything. They did not do their job by saying something. Then one day, one of our upper management came by, and he wondered. He says, "Where's your coat at? Where's your coat at?" Just kind of shouting at him. I was kind of a little embarrassed that even my manager he should have at least taken him into the room there back behind and did it there, but not on the floor. I mean, there wasn't really much of any customers there. Now, luckily, I had mine on. I knew that was a requirement, and I didn't want to not work without it because it has nice pockets in it. Plus, you get stuff on you, get dirt and crud on you, and that's what's there. That's what the lab coat's for. And I can't remember if I talked to him about it because he quit shortly thereafter. I think I sent it to him in an email, or I described it to other people, the situation, and they wondered why he left. And it's like, yeah, he just didn't like it here, because he never wanted to follow the rules that were obviously there. I mean, I like to bend the rules and stuff, but I have to recognize certain rules that are essential, or at least for appearance's sake. Even if they're ridiculous, I try my best. But I described it in this manner, as I told him, or told people. I can't remember if I did send an email to him. But it's like, if you're going down the road and you're going over the speed limit every single day, okay? Let's say the speed limit's 35 and you go 45 every single day. And every day you pass this policeman, and the policeman never pulls you over. Okay? In his mind, it's fine that he's going 10 miles over the speed limit, because the cop's never pulling him over. That doesn't change the law, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but unfortunately for him, that doesn't make it okay, even if you're not getting reprimanded for it. What I mean by that is that, let's say that happens for an entire year. Say you go on that same road every single day. You go 10 miles over the speed limit every single day. You pass the exact same cop every single day for an entire year, or even 2 years, maybe even 5 years. Who knows? Maybe even 50 years, okay? But then finally one day that same cop pulls you over and gives you a speeding ticket. Now his reaction is that, well, he never pulled me over before. Yeah, that's true, but you were still breaking the law each time. He just probably wasn't doing his job like he should have been. Now, granted, a lot of cops, there's been times where I passed cops going 5, maybe even 10, and I slowed down as soon as I saw them, but they won't pull you over a lot of times, but you can't rely on that. But his problem is that if he gets pulled over, he gets reprimanded for breaking the rule, even though he wasn't doing it before. He doesn't understand why he's getting reprimanded now, as he should be. And he did bring that point up that, they weren't doing their job if he was doing wrong. And he even pointed out, and I agreed with him on that they should have been right on him. And he said that to them. He says, well, how come you never said anything before? And he goes, well, we thought you would just kind of work it out, and we were just expecting you to change on your own. It's like, okay, yeah, that's nice that you trust, but as a manager, that's your job to say something when something needs said, regardless if you want to give them, and if you do that, but then you can't let it go that long. Otherwise, and it's indeterminate, but if you let it go way too long, then you're not doing your job. Not to come down on him like that so long afterward. So therefore, I agree with him, and I disagree with him as I do with the managers. The managers should have been on him. So basically, they kind of sent him a false message. They kind of sent him a false message, and they didn't allow that value system to develop. So it's not totally his fault. It is ultimately, because even when other people aren't doing their job, you need to do your job. But at the same time, the two together caused chaos and havoc. So the better man, who would have been the manager, who should have been the manager, the upper manager, they should have been the better man because they're the guys that are higher up. So yeah, that type of stuff it's kind of, what's good for the goose, what's good for the gander, it takes two to tango and all that stuff. So yeah, so next time you think that something is just your choice, or you're getting away with something, take a good hard look at what it is and wonder and think if it's actually going to cause problems in the future.